Greetings, beloved Princeton United Methodist Church community. It's Pastor Jenny here, and I'm going to start with scripture from Genesis chapter 32, verse 11. Now, this passage, this one verse, comes from a bigger story, the story of Jacob and Esau. But here's the one verse. Deliver me, please, from the hand of my brother, from the hand of Esau, for I am afraid of him. He may come and kill us all, the mothers with the children. This is indeed the word of life. Thanks be to God. So we've been talking through this whole Lenten season about broken things. And this week we are talking about being broken from others. My guess is that for most of us, when we think about the brokenness, it's that brokenness from others that is easiest to access. It's the thing that we think about first and easiest when we think about the brokenness. It's more tangible. It's something that we see and experience every day from the conflicts that we have at work or in our family or with someone that we love, a conflict that hasn't yet been resolved or one that's in the midst of the heat of things. We are more aware when we watch the news or scour the internet or hop on Facebook or whatever it is that we're doing about the brokenness that exists between people in the world. It is a big one and an overarching one. It consumes so much of our energy and our time and our worries, all these things. It affects our health. It does all of this. I don't need to tell you, but I am naming again kind of this brokenness that is hard sometimes for us to really sit with and to look at. I also want to name that in the midst of us talking about broken things, we've divided it up. We've talked about brokenness from creation and brokenness from God, brokenness even within our own self, our own being, and now we're talking about brokenness from others, but these are all interconnected things. It's like taking all the pile of brokenness and taking one piece here and one piece here and saying, oh, this is mostly a brokenness between other people and myself, or this is the broken piece that is between God and I. But it's all kind of part of one whole. One thing affects another. Our brokenness from God or our brokenness from self contributes to the brokenness from other people, and all around it goes. So this time today, as you're thinking about this, there's so many things that we can do, but here's what I invite you to do. I invite you just to name how you feel when we're talking about brokenness. What's it like for you to pick up one of those pieces and just to sit with it? What is it like then for you to add compassion into that? For you to sit with just one of those broken pieces, and to look upon your feelings, to look upon that piece, to look upon the situation, to look upon whoever else it is that you are in conflict with or broken from, whether it's God or creation or yourself, with compassion. To look at it with loving kindness, the kind of loving kindness that God interacts with us through, that steadfast love, that agape love, that goodwill, that belovedness that God has for each of us. What's it like for you as you look at these conflicts and as you look back at that passage that I just read, which is big, a huge conflict that has gone on for years and years and years, a family torn apart by conflict, where even in the midst of these two grown-up people, there is fear that one is going to kill the other. Sometimes conflict is really bad and really ugly and really hopeless and really terrifying. But I invite you just for a moment to, and many moments after that, but just for a moment to start, to just look at the broken piece, one broken piece How do you feel as you look at it? What happens when you add compassion? What happens when you add loving kindness? And just see where God speaks to you, where you're being moved, where you're being comforted, where you're being challenged, where you're being helped. And just continue to look and to let God help you put these pieces back together. It's not all up to you. You have a part in putting pieces back together, but it's not all just you. Speaking of broken things, right? We have now been fully a year into the COVID pandemic. We are observing this anniversary this coming Sunday in worship. I'll be just naming some of the gifts and the celebrations that we have, but also some of the brokennesses that have come. And it's really, a mix. This is horrible, what we've been through this year. There have been many painful, difficult, tragic, lamentable things. And there have also been great gifts. And so we're going to hold these things together a little bit on Sunday for a moment. So I just commend that to you and name that for you. I've also been getting a lot of questions now that vaccines are rolling out more, and how we start to move back into meeting again together in person. And so I want you to know that we're working on this, and we are learning, and we are venturing to become more concrete in some of these plans. But it still takes, this is huge, right? This is a big thing to move from where we are now to something truly workable long term. And there's still a lot we don't know. There's still a lot of things that we are trying to balance around equity, around use of resources, around trying to hold lots of pieces together and throw a bunch of unknown things in there. So bear with us, but keep watching, keep listening, and we will keep moving toward something new as we are able. Holy Week is coming very soon. So that means we just have 2 more weeks. It's the week after next. So we have one more Lenten Lunch series. I'm up next Tuesday. So I invite you to come and spend a little time with me in a more contemplative space on Tuesday at noon, followed by our luncheon. And then the following week is Holy Week. Hey Lim is our speaker for our Tuesday Lent Lunch that week, our last week, but also on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we have our Holy Week services. We'll also have the church open during the day from noon to 6 on those days for you to come and just be in prayer, to walk the labyrinth that we have in the Sanford Davis room, and to just spend a little time. It's also a chance for you to come back in your sanctuary that I know so many of you miss and love. The worship will be virtual that week, and then of course Easter is April 4th. But up and through that time, we've still got lots of things going on. As I move over here for a second, we still have our daily practice cards that are available to you both in your hands, but also on our online community and on Facebook and on Instagram. And during Holy Week, we'll be adding some things to that. We have our children are going to be offering some scripture and song every day that week, kind of helping to lead us through the events of and the emotions of Holy Week. We are going to have a Broken Cross project the week before Easter. There's a virtual Easter egg hunt that's happening. Lots of things going on. I still invite you to purchase lilies for our Easter garden that will be in our sanctuary. I think we still need 19 that we are hoping to have sponsored for us to really round out that garden that way. So if you are able and willing to do that, that would be wonderful. If you would like to have that lily after Easter, we can arrange that for you. Just let us know. But please take the opportunity to help decorate our sanctuary for the Easter resurrection garden. And I think the last thing that I want to say is that there is a hike that our children's ministry, family ministry is is sponsoring. And so, just a chance for us to get together in a little bit different way. We've been so much on screens and so much feeling apart from each other. It'll still be socially distanced. There will still be masks, but we'll be outside and have a little chance to be outside, reconnecting with creation together, as well as connecting with each other a little bit more. So all these things, lots of opportunities for you to continue to joyfully respond, to be open to God's grace and joyfully respond to it as growing disciples of Jesus. So thank you for all the ways that you continue to do that, the ways that you show up, the ways that you give, the ways that you continue to make this community a vital and good, ever more beloved community. Blessings to you all. Take care. Bye.